Thank you, staff and councillors. Chairperson's running sheet. Policy and General Committee meeting Wednesday, the 21st of August, 2024. I now open the meeting. I wish to welcome everybody to the August meeting of the Policy and General Committee. Standing committees are held as part of the council meeting process in order for committees to consider reports prepared by council officers and to make recommendations regarding these reports to the monthly council meeting. Council's delegates on the Policy and General Committee are Mayor Kennedy, Deputy Mayor Hickey, Councillor Allgate, Chairperson, Councillor Bolland, Councillor Brown, Councillor Jewett. Statement of ethical obligations. All councillors undertook an oath or affirmation at the beginning of their term of office and declared to undertake the duties of the office of councillor in the best interest of the people of the Broken Hill local government area and the city of Broken Hill, and that they will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretions vested in them under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of their ability and judgment. Live streaming and recording of meetings. The committee meeting is being live streamed via YouTube and recorded and published online via Council's website. To those present in the meeting today, by attending in this public meeting, you are consenting to your image, voice and comments being recorded and published. The chairperson and or the general manager have the authority to pause the live stream if comments or debate are considered defamatory or otherwise inappropriate for publishing. Participants are advised that they may be subject to legal action if they engage in unlawful behaviour or commentary. Apologies. Do we have any apologies?
Councillor Hickey, apology or leave absence.
Councillor Jewett's apology. Who's moved the apologies be accepted? Moved. Seconded. All those in favour? Carried. Leave of absence applications. There's a leave of absence application by Councillor Hickey for recreational leave. Can we have a motion that that be accepted?
I'll move that way.
Move Councillor Bolland. Seconded. Councillor Brown. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. I'll call on Mayor Kennedy to give the prayer.
Almighty God, we ask you to invoke your blessing upon this council, direct and prosper our deliberations to the advancement and true welfare of the people of the council area, our state and Australia. Amen.
Thank you, Mayor Kennedy. And I'll call on Councillor Brown to give the welcome to country.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land upon which we meet today, the land of the Wulyakali people, and pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging.
Thank you, Councillor Brown. Councillor Bolland to do the acknowledgement of Broken Hill's mining history.
Thank you, Chair. We take this time to reflect, remember and honour the over 800 miners that lost their lives and those that were crippled or maimed on the line of load. We thank the brave miners and their wives who were part of the 1919 to 1920 strike that lasted over 500 days and delivered a 35-hour working week. Mining is our past and future.
Thank you, Councillor Bolland. Move on to item 7, the minutes for confirmation. The minutes of the Policy and General Committee meeting held Wednesday, July the 24th, 2024 be confirmed.
I'll move that way.
Councillor Bolland. Seconded. Councillor Brown. Anybody to speak to it? All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Are there any disclosures of interest? No disclosures of interest. We move on to item 9. Yeah. Move on to item 9. Broken Hill City Council Report number 123/24, dated July the 3rd, 2024. The adoption of the draft customer experience framework.
I'll move it.
Move councillor Boland. Seconded.
I'll second it.
Speak to it, councillor Kennedy.
No, pretty straightforward.
All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item 2, Broken Hill City Council Report number 124/24, dated June the 28th, 2024. Broken Hill population forecast as per minute number from ordinary meeting, council meeting held the 29th of the 5th, 2024. Do we have a move?
I'll move that way.
Second? Kennedy. Speak to it, councillor Boland.
Thank you, councillor Allgate and Chair. Reading through this, I mean, there's a little bit of information there. It's a good report, and it's exactly what was asked at that council meeting on the 29th of May. And I note some quite concerning information out of this report. Basically, someone in Sydney thought the population of Broken Hill would be under 10,000 or 9,266 by 2016. That is madness. The population of this centre was never going to fall that low. And it's been increasing over this term of council. It's increased. And they've based that on the building of our new hospital. I guess it's 24 years old now, our replacement hospital, compared to what we had. And it's never been adequate for what we've had. Somehow they thought we were 81.5% capacity in 1995 of the old hospital. And they somehow thought let's reduce the beds and the capacity will go down. It's absolute madness. And the question has to be asked, if the Health Department, Ministry of Health, has been using these statistics and figures, and that was what designed our hospital or influenced the design of that hospital, what else has this town missed over the last 24 years? What else? Is that why we had to wait so long for our new police station? Is that why we had to fight tooth and nail to get Williama High School rebuilt? Is that why the fireys up the road are still fighting for a new fire station? What else have we missed in this town? Is that why the state office block across the road is half empty? Because some bureaucrat in Sydney is going on a figure that we're going to be under 10,000 people by 2016. It's absolute madness. And I think in the future term, a new term of council, whoever is re-elected in those roles needs to take the state government to task on this, because it's absolutely disgusting. And I'd love to know what else Broken Hill has missed out on because of these flawed figures that were flawed from day one. And someone with you don't even need a university education in statistics to understand that they were flawed from day one.
Thank you, councillor Boland. Further comment? Councillor Brown?
Yes, I don't disagree with anything that councillor Boland has said. And I do, quite vividly remember the arguments we had at the time, because, and I don't know whether you, Mr. Chair, also remember at that time, the government was certainly told that we absolutely disagreed with those forecasts. So it wasn't as if it was a lack of effort on the part of council then. I just had some questions. I mean, obviously, those figures are, a lot of them are sort of out of date and not quite full. I mean, I don't know. I assume that's the way that they record the average, the occupancy, but I would have thought that with a hospital, the occupancy has peaks and troughs. So it's, whether it can cope with, say, winter flu season. that's to me important rather than an overall average figure. And I don't know whether those figures are there, but I think these figures, you know, possibly, I don't know, couldn't say that they're intended to give to give the impression that, you know, the hospital is an adequate size, but they don't seem to me to explain, you know, the real occupancy patterns, I suppose. The other thing that, and I don't know, it'd be good to have some of those early figures. And I do acknowledge that there was a geriatric ward in those days. I can't remember the name, it was up the back there, so that a lot of those beds have been taken up for a long time with people waiting to go into aged care, and that's more or less on a semi-permanent basis in some cases. So I don't know, all of these things that they really just add to the case that however the government calculates the requirements is vastly inadequate, and I hope that, well, I don't know what we can do about that. Maybe it might be interesting to get maybe some more up to date figures on because I think the most recent occupancy rate was still isn't recent. It's 20 years old. I think it was after the hospital was constructed, so it's not recent now. It might be interesting to get some more average occupancy rates, and maybe, I don't know, whether the annual report, the health annual report, maybe gives any information about whether or when and there are inadequate numbers of beds, because I think we've all heard anecdotally people can't get beds here. You know, they can't find a bed, or they can't find a bed in certain areas here, and people are put in medical and they're surgical and, you know, that sort of thing. And it's, everyone hears it, so it must happen quite frequently. I don't know quite what we can do about it, but yes, I really don't know, apart from receiving the report, but certainly should be part of any future comment, any advocacy that council does in terms of health, because we all know how important adequate medical services are to the livability of the city. Now, people really want to know, particularly older people, that they've got a guarantee of hospital accommodation and medical services.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Chair.
I'd like to just move an addendum if I could, just that we actually do investigating a further report of perhaps the occupancy rates over the last 5 years at the local hospital. If you.
That's
good.
Do we need peak?
The second.
Well, that would include, of course, peak. Over winter, I do know that when the flu season does hit, we are short of beds.
Yeah.
Then that may only be what you hear, but we hear it all the time. So there is a real panic around flu season and the availability of beds every year.
You wish to move an amendment or a
No, Councillor Boland is happy to accept.
Okay.
I'm happy to accept that, Chair.
Okay. I'll hand it over to the General Manager, but to Councillor Brown, I thought, for some reason, I thought when the new hospital was designed, it was based on a population of 12,000. That figure was bandied around, I thought, at the time.
I can't recall the exact, I mean, even that's woefully inadequate, the 12,000.
Yeah, we went from a massive
It
big
just
hospital
didn't make sense.
to
Yeah, it
Well-
didn't make any sense at all, but they persisted. They said, oh, our demographers, this is what our demographers are saying is going to happen. This is the trend and this is where it's going to end up. Couldn't argue with them.
No.
Yeah,
And
Ms.
even
Kennedy.
worse, Councillor Allgate, in the report, it says 9,200, not 12,000, 9,200.
I know, but this, I might be wrong, but I can recall 12,000 being a figure that was quoted.
It was 12,000's been mentioned many times, but from this report, 9,000's even worse than 12,000.
Yeah.
Half what it
Mr.
is
General
now.
Manager?
Yeah, it's exactly.
10 years, almost 9 years after 2016.
Yeah, half.
Mr. General Manager, do you want to respond to that?
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, the 12,000 figure was used and as per the report, a lot of those state records have been destroyed, so it was hard to track down. There was a council report from the mayor, Peter Black, at the time. From the mayor to Peter Black in his role as state member, where they've written to the Department of Planning,
I
quoting
remember
the
that.
figure of around 12,000 population in 2010, and that was from the ABS data that came out from the 1999-98 census. And then since then, when they've extrapolated that out further, as they give you your forecasted figures based on those demographics, which is why they said by 2016, based on that rate, Broken Hill's population would be down to 9,200, which is clearly flawed. These issues are still here. As councillors are aware, we're continuously trying to correct and argue with the Department of Planning about how they actually forecast population figures for Broken Hill and all the regional New South Wales. They're basing it on trends, historical trends, and don't take into account new industries or new developments that are occurring within that city. And as we've seen, we're supposed to be down to $15,000 for the last 15,000 population for the last 10 years. And the population has maintained previously and is having that upwards trend at the moment. Yet the Department of Planning will still show that we're on a declining population basis and attribute the services as such. So it's something that needs to be high on council's advocacy now as well into the future. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. General Manager. It begs the question too. I wonder if the ABS figures influence the setting of grants, where the population is used as a factor, and if that's the case, we're being shortchanged a lot. So we put that to a vote. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item 3, Broken Hill City Council report number 125/24, dated August 9, 2024, investment report for July 2024.
Move that way.
Councillor Bolland. Seconded. Councillor Brown. Speak to it, Councillor Bolland.
Thank you, Councillor Allgate. It's all written there as normal. It's a nice, well-balanced portfolio that's looking after the council's reserves. If you can tell me what's going to happen with interest rates between now and Christmas, you're doing a better job than anyone else. So it'll be interesting. Watch iron ore prices and what's happening in China.
Further speakers or comment? All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item 4, Broken Hill City Council report number 126/24, dated August the 5th, 2024. Minutes of the Broken Hill City Art Gallery Advisory Committee meeting held 19th of June 2024.
Move that way.
Do you have a mover? Is it Councillor Bolland? Seconded, Councillor Brown. Speak to it, Councillor.
Thank you, Chair. Just noting general business, sad that we've lost a volunteer, and it was great to see that the committee has sent flowers to his widow, and also retirement of a long-serving volunteer, Phyllis, there as well. So obviously many years of service there, and the volunteers are the backbone of our community. And it was also great to see that the membership drive's underway, because I think the more people become members of that amazing, wonderful art gallery, the better. So I just wanted to note those 2 points on the general business, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Bolland. Further comment?
I just think that we should just add to that recommendation that we, as a council, also thank the long service of Phyllis Files, and also send condolences to Rod's family.
Councillor Bolland.
I have no issues with that. I had that on my notes, but I missed that one. So
Okay.
no issues whatsoever.
Further comment? All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Confidential items, there are nil. Close the meeting as there is no further business. To consider or declare the policy